everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laurie and I review nail polish collections, mostly mainstream. I do a lot of comparisons to see if polishes are similar to those that companies have previously come out with, or if they're different and if you need them and if you don't. So that is what I do here on my page. I would love it if you guys would like this video if you watch it. It really helps me out, and if you could subscribe, that would help me out as well. I'm really trying to get this channel growing. I usually don't like to say that, and I'll save it at the end, and I'm like, I really gotta start saying it because I'm like, man, I've had some long time followers, and if you aren't subscribed, just please do it. It would really help me out, so I appreciate that. Anyway, so today I'm gonna be talking about the Essie Light and Fairy collection. It is a new Target exclusive collection. I always tend to love the Target exclusive collections because I feel like the collections are usually so cohesive and the colors are just rich and vibrant and beautiful. It's been that way for a long time. And I'm sorry for those of you who cannot get your hands on these collections, but oh man, if you can, I think you're going to want to pick some of these up. But I do think you're going to want to watch and stick around for all the comparisons that I have. I have quite a few because a lot of colors that we have are going to be kind of close to these, if not the same. So you'll want to watch and see which ones you think you might want to get. I will put a link to the collection down below. It is an affiliate link. I appreciate you guys always shopping off my links. I'm excited to get into it. This collection is kind of interesting because there's 5 polishes instead of the usual 6 that they have. Sometimes with Essie, you'll get like 9 shades in a collection too. Typically it's 6, but for some reason this collection is just 5. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I kept checking to see if maybe I was missing one, but I don't think that I am. I want to say too that all the colors in this collection really go with that fairy theme and garden, and so I just love it. I think they did a really good job of picking the colors out for this. Before we get into that though, let's talk about what's on my lips. I'm wearing this new Hollywood Icon lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. I have 3 of them and I just wanted to put this one on back again. It's the Red Carpet Pink. It's so beautiful, and I'm also using this new lip liner called Icon Baby. So I'm using this combo. I'll put a link to that down below. As always, if my shirt's available, I will link it down below as well. And then the polish that's on my nails is a beauty, and we're going to talk about that one because it's part of this collection. Okay, let's get into the review. First one we have is Kiss and Spell, and you guys know I love these light color polishes with just a hint of color. This one's a little bit darker than that, I would say, but it's beautiful. It's a really icy blue, so it's a blue that has a touch of purple in it to make it a little bit cooler, and it's light and fresh and beautiful. I did feel like the formula on this one is slightly runny, so it did tend to like flood my cuticles when I painted it. I had to record the live swatch like 10 times, so just beware of that, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue because I feel like polishes thicken up over time, and I feel like it's just going to be a really great formula in just a few months after opening the bottle, and so I think it's going to be fine. But just so you know, it was slightly runny, a little bit difficult to work with, but not too bad if you don't get close to that cuticle line. So, but I love the shade of this one. I think it's beautiful and crisp. I love to wear polishes like this time of year, and especially in spring and summer too. I think this would be beautiful in the summertime. I do have 4 sets of comparisons I'm going to run through quickly, and I know in videos recently I've been doing a lot of comparisons, but especially with colors like these for Essie, I wanted to show you everything in all the spectrum so you could just get an idea of right where it fit. And then I'm going to post a picture of them all together again like I did in the last Essie collection review, the spring one, just so you can see them close together, and you can kind of, I think that's helpful in picking out colors that you like, and it might even help remind you of a shade that you have that you want to pull out and wear. So let's look into all of those. So all this set here, they're all a little bit lighter than this. So like I was saying, Kiss and Spell has a touch of color, but has a little bit more color than these other ones. Press Pause is a little bit of a lighter gray. Doodle the Minimum is a touch warmer but still lighter, and Cool and Collected is purple toned than Kiss and Spell and a little bit lighter. So now here in the middle we have the closest range, and Lilacism is a more soft pink, and Virgin Snow is a touch more blue. I would say they're very close though. I could see the differences more in person than I could in the picture when I was taking it, so hopefully that's visible to you. And Kiss and Spell has just a little bit more purple, and it's harder to tell that difference in the picture. And then Saltwater Happy is a little bit darker and more blue. So those are the closest that we have. I know that Virgin Snow is kind of hard to find, and that is one of my favorite polishes. This one next to it, I was like, ooh, I kind of like this one a little bit better because it leans like slightly slightly more periwinkle. So that was fun to see, but like I said, they're pretty close. Okay, let's look into some OPI comparisons. So I compared it to Verified, and that's from their new spring collection this year. If you haven't checked out my review for that, check it out. It was my last video that went up, and that one's brighter and a little bluer, but I felt like they were pretty close. And then OPI The Eyes Have It is a little more blue, and Dreams Need Clarification is a cooler, more periwinkle leaning polish, and these all are darker. So even though Essie has a lot of polishes like this, I do feel like this one's a little bit different, or it's pretty close to Virgin Snow, which is kind of hard to find, which a lot of people have loved that polish. So this might be one that you want to pick up. If you never got Virgin Snow and you love it, then I would definitely get this one before it's gone, because these are limited edition collections. So obviously I loved this one too. Then we have Note to Elf, and I think the names on these are all pretty cute. It kind of gives you that visual of like fairy garden and little creatures and flowers and like rainforest. Anyway, I just really like the overall theme of this collection. I think it's kind of fun. But I love that this is kind of a purple lilac shade. The formula on this one is just amazing. It's a 2-coat dreamy formula that just applies so beautifully. I think you're really gonna enjoy it. The one thing you're gonna wanna know, I think, is what does this compare to? I have 3 sets of Essie comparisons and then a set of OPI comparisons. So there's a ton of polishes like this, and let's dig into it and see where it fits. So this first set is all lighter, and we'll start with Bond with Whomever. It's lighter and more pink. Beget Me Not is brighter and more pink. That is one of my favorite polishes. And all of these other polishes tend to have that old school Crelly formula that Essie tended to have back then. Not a big problem, but I just wanted to note that the formulas are quite different too. And then Underwear is a similar color tone, but it is quite a bit lighter. And then we have Suit You Swell is also purple leaning. Splash of Grenadine was more pink, and It Takes the West Village is a deeper purple shade, and so nothing quite exact in that line. And then Primp and Powder is more purple and light bright, and Groom Service was the closest probably that I found in darkness or lightness, however you want to say it, like color shade, but it's a little bit more purple. And then Run Wildflower is close, but it's bright, so nothing exact. Oh, hi, come here. What are you doing? Come say hi. Hopper, come here. Come here. Are you outside? Were you outside in the snow? Oh yes. Was it fun? Okay. Were you with Daddy? All right. Okay, go lay down now. Go lay down somewhere. And now looking into the OPI comparison, so we have Lavender to Find Courage and Lucky Lucky Lavender Achievement Unlocked. There are slight variations and differences that you can see, but I think that gives you a good idea of what is closest to this. So I feel like Essie had polishes that weren't exactly like this. This is a little bit more purple when some of the other ones were more pink, but I love it, and the formula is fantastic. And I like that it's a little bit muted and soft and toned down, and it's perfect for going into spring and springtime. Then we have Light and Fairy, and this is the namesake of the collection, and it's this mustard yellow shade. I love mustard yellows. I really tend to wear them in the fall. I like that this one's a little bit soft and muted. It has quite a bit of yellow in it, but it has like a hint of green in it as well, and so it is a little bit more wearable to me because I don't like the bright mustard yellows. So this one is a little bit toned down, and I do think it fits in well with the variety of colors from this collection. I think they all look so great together, so I'm glad they added it. I don't know if I'll ever pull it out and wear it. I do think it looks really nice with the other colors because that's important too. Okay, so it has a beautiful formula. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats, and it goes on creamy and nice and even, and Essie just is killing it with their formula and their brush. It's just so nice. Okay, so let's get into comparison. So I have Check Your Baggage. That one's lighter, and it's mostly just a yellowy orange. And then we have Sharpen Up is a bright yellow polish. It's more of like a school bus polish, I would say. And then Buzzworthy Bash is darker and more orange leaning. And so those are quite different. So I feel like for Essie, this one is a little bit different. And then I compared it to Marigolden Hour. OPI has lots of yellows like this, and that one's more yellow. And that's kind of like a school bus yellow shade too. I wanted to pull out my favorite mustard polish, and that's China Glaze Mustard the Courage. And that one's more brown toned. I feel like that's more fall appropriate, and I like that this Light and Fairy is still toned down, but it's more like spring appropriate to me because it's not as dark and kind of moody as Mustard the Courage. But I do like the Mustard the Courage. I've worn it before in the fall. And then Ochre the Moon is more green toned. Those are a little bit different, so you can see this one's a little bit different, and I think it's good that Essie has this in their line because it is different than the other ones that they've come out with. with that are kind of mustardy shades. Let me know what you think about this one. And then we have a Tojo, and I think that name is adorable, and I love these khaki green shades, you guys. So when I went to New York with Essie several years ago, gosh, I don't know how long it's been, probably like 7 years ago. I can't remember what year it was, 2016, 2017? Anyway, I went with some of my nail friends. Essie invited us to New York, so a lot of you probably don't know that, but it was the funnest trip. We went with Essie, took us to the labs, and I was able to make a polish, and I made a khaki color, and I begged them. I'm like, please come out with a khaki color. And mine's not the greatest. The formula on it's really crelly, and I should have added more white to the base, but I didn't know what I was doing. I've never done that before. So it's very similar in color to this one, and I was gonna put it on and compare it, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to. It's turned quite more yellow over the years, but I love they made this because it totally reminds me of that trip. I'm glad they have a khaki like this. It is different than their other khakis that you'll see here in a minute, but it just made me so happy. And this one has a beautiful, nice, glossy formula. So it is slightly crelly-ish, but it builds up so nicely in 2 coats, and it is just a stunner, you guys. I really think I'll be wearing this one, but let's look at those comparisons. So I compared it to Willow in the Wind, and that one's lighter and more yellow, and then Heart of the Jungle, I love that one too, you guys, and that one's more cooler tones. It's a little bit different. And then Force of Nature is that deep dark green, which is a gorgeous one too, but I just find that this one's a little bit different than those. And then I compared it to OPI Oro Down the Window, and that one's very close, just a touch cooler. I feel like that one has like a touch of gray. I love that polish, and I compare it to all the green khakis that come out. It's like the one that I want to see how it compares to because I just love it so much. I probably do like it a little bit more than Tojo, just because it is a little bit more gray. And then Orly Wild Willow is pretty exact to this, so that's interesting too, and I do like that polish, especially when it came out. And then Susie, First Lady of Nails, is a little darker, and that is one of my favorite ones too. You guys, I love green polish, and if you followed me for a long time, obviously you know that the green is my favorite color, and so I do like this one, but I do find it interesting that it's pretty much exact to Orly Wild Willow, so if you have that one, you might not need this one. But if you are an Essie lover and you don't have Orly and you liked that one, then this is a good one to get, and I will let you decide. And then Charmed and Dangerous is next, and this is a stunner. This is my jam, people. This color polish is my jam. It is a beautiful jam color. It's like this beautiful purpley pink shade that's rich and has some white in the base, so it's going to be really creamy. It is so good, you guys. I always fall for polishes like this. I do feel like this one is a little bit crelly. Builds up perfectly in 2 coats though, so it's like the perfect crelly formula, which I just always completely fall in love with. I totally fell in love with this one. But yeah, I think you're going to want to know how it compares to other polishes, because another one of my Essie favorites that I've had for a long time, it was my #1 for several years. I can't even say right now what my #1 Essie polish is, but let's see how that compares, and that's Flowerista. So let's look at that. So I compared it to Flowerista, and that one's more pink, but it is still kind of close though, but the formulas are quite different. That formula is a beautiful one coater. It goes on so nice. Such a fantastic polish. I feel like Charmed and Dangerous though has a little bit of warmth to it. It has a little bit of red, so it's a little bit different. It's purple, but it has just a touch of warmth that makes it different than other polishes. And then Set the Tiki Bar High is brighter, purpley. Swing of Things is deeper and more raspberry leaning that you can see there. There were some other shades that I had pulled out that were quite a bit lighter, like Fuel Your Desire from Essie, Swoon in the Lagoon, and Big Spender, and those were all more pink or lighter, so those were different, so I didn't put them in there, but I just wanted to note of that so you guys knew that I had pulled those out, but they were quite different. So this one is a little bit different, even though it's kind of close to Flowerista. I still love it, and I'm still glad I have it. It's so good. But let's look at how it compares to some OPI shades, because it did remind me of OPI A Manicure for Beads, so I pulled that out. That's a little bit lighter and brighter. And then I Love Newberry and Violet Visionary are both more purple. I feel like Violet Visionary goes even more cooler than Newberry, but they're both a little bit different. So I like it. I feel like it's a little bit different. It's like a purple polish with a little bit of red. It's like slightly raspberry leaning. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. Like I said, this is my jam, and that's why I'm wearing it. This is the one on my nails, and I think you need to wear it too. Unless you're trying to be good, just pull out Flowerista. That's a good one too. Okay, so I have to say that this whole collection is my favorite. I love it all together. I would maybe leave out the mustard shade just because I know myself and I know I'm probably not going to wear that. I'm going to pick other colors over that for sure because it's just not my jam. But anyway, look how beautiful that is together. I just love it so much. And even though they're kind of close, I think they're doing a good job of like finding colors in between their other colors and not making them completely exact. So let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I've got a lot of other collections lined up that you can see here probably in the background. I've got Morgan Taylor here that I'm going to review pretty soon. I've got Orly down here, and you guys, I'm dying over this pink. Ooh, I'm dying over that. I cannot wait to get to it. So those will be coming up next. Let me know down below what you'd want to see next, actually, because I have that. What else do I have? I have the OPI Infinite Shine line. They had 9 new polishes come out, and I wanted to pull those out and review them too. So let me know down below what you want next. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.